I did see it.
Okay, you're live and recording.
Right, and we are from Rich. For the first 2025.
So, we wanted to talk a little bit more about Iowa Road and the traffic control on there. So I've asked, our contractor, Jody Butler with HK Contractors to come and see if you have some specific questions that he can answer, about different options that we talked about last week.
Plus, did a deep dive and went out and drove all the routes during the high traffic times.
Has anybody else been out there during the high traffic times?
I haven't seen it in high traffic, no. I have, usually get somewhere else during those times, but during the day, the intersection's pretty quiet.
That's so my analysis, and I told John and Carl this morning. I went out last Thursday morning at about 7:45, and there wasn't much going on there. Traffic seemed to be flowing pretty good. I watched it for a little bit and then I left. This morning I headed that way, probably starting about 7:35. I actually drove, I live in the neighborhood across the street from the school, so I actually drove through Berkeley Park and Red Rock down Goldenrod, watched the traffic flow coming that way, went down past the school, and then took the route up past Vision and sat there for a little bit. When I got there, I was probably about 11 cars back in the queue to get out onto Ammon Road, and there's probably another 4 cars behind me. I took a picture of what it looked like, and I was on Ammon Road in less than 2 minutes. So my takeaway from what I told them from the 2 experiences that I've had is I don't necessarily think the cost is worth what's actually happening there. I think that it's actually flowing pretty well, and it seems like there's enough gaps in Ammon Road that people are able to turn there quicker. From my personal experience, I usually come up 41st and get on Hiram Drive and turn on to Ammon Road, and even before the construction has started here, I wait longer there to get onto Ammon Road than I waited to get onto Ammon Road from the school this morning. So that was just kind of my personal observation of the situation, but Lance and David, if you have any additional thoughts, or if that's kind of what you've thought too, or
So I've been out there, maybe not at peak times, but I did see the kind of the same thing, that people are finding their way. They are making their way out from Vision onto Hammond Road. It is close to 3/4 of a mile away from where the road closure project is. And yeah, it does affect people, but I don't know that it's insurmountable, and that people are shooting, especially as they come out from Vision and turning right on Hammond Road instead of trying to turn left. And that was one of the options we talked about, was kind of forcing that right in, right out off of Vision. But I think more and more people are doing that right on Hammond Road because they understand that it's gonna be able to get them out quicker that way.
and I think with the adding of the center turn lane there, at least what I observed this morning, it really isn't too tough to make a left turn either, because you can get out into that middle lane and then merge over when you have them, and that doesn't.
Yeah.
That's the way I actually turned left out of there this morning, just because I wanted to see how it worked, and it didn't seem too big at all, too bad at all. So.
Okay,
The only concern I have about that is citywide, probably nationwide, is that it's actually illegal to do that. But to turn and use it as a turn lane to get into traffic on the other side.
need a law specifically allowing that. City guys used to write tickets.
Yeah, city guys write tickets for all time, some side. But everybody does it out of necessity, so
Well, yeah, everybody knows it.
we'll keep doing it. That's my only hang with it.
I learned something today. I didn't know that.
Not either.
Chew on that one before.
So-
My behavior.
I guess my thought as to what I told the commissioners this morning is it seems like a lot of money for something that doesn't really seem like a huge problem. And I talked to Idaho Traffic Safety, and he said as far as the signals, if you wanted them just to run in those hour intervals, he's like, you're pretty much gonna have to send somebody out there to turn them on and turn them off. That's gonna be your only option with the equipment that we have.
They have,
So,
Well, I think most of the buzz about this being a problem happened before the road was ever closed. I think it was preemptive, and now that it's closed, it seems to be working itself out.
and the other thing that I pointed out to them, most of the most of the kids that go to that school actually do live in the neighborhood across the street where you go down Goldenrod. So what I've kind of observed the 2 times that I've been there, unless it's parents dropping their kids off and then needing to go out to Hammond to go to work, most of your traffic's going right back across Goldenrod. I mean, there was way more traffic coming that way this morning, taking that route. I probably passed 50 or 60 cars than there was going the Vision Way.
Yeah.
So
So what we're doing is working, so
that's my observation. I don't think there's anything at this time that we need to do, and I also haven't heard any more complaints from the public. Did you ever end up talking to the principal again, Lance?
I talked to him the one time, I didn't talk to him the second time, and he was trying to.
So that's the only other thing that I might do is just call him again and see if he's had any additional complaints from parents. But I would imagine if he had, we'd hear from him too, and we haven't heard anything from him, so
There hasn't been anything more on social media or.
no.
People are figuring it out, calls have slowed down, I think, so.
my experience with these road closures is, it's difficult at first and then becomes routine in a matter of a week or 2, or most people are.
By March, people will care. Hey,
Okay, thank you.
Sorry to drag you in here for that.
Oh. Any other questions? That's fine.
So I'm guessing the bridges, they won't be done till spring, right? That's
They
kind
won't be
of
done till spring, yeah. Yes, it
anticipate.
is a critical path, which, the Little Sand Creek Bridge is demoed, and the Sand Creek Bridge, is in process. So, I mean, the constraining factors right now are lead times for materials.
Right.
Pre-stressed concrete and whatnot, and then, utility conflicts. So we have, that road's been very busy with utility companies. We tried to get them out there prior to this meeting. They showed up basically when we did. So there's a couple of, utilities that need to get out of that bridge footprint still. Notably Syringa, I think they're working on
I
maybe.
think they're working.
They're working, so, yeah, so first week in November, they're expecting to be able to transition to their new duct there. And, gas company is working on their crossings have to be trenched in and their steel lines, so they've got to weld them in, but, I won't say that's gonna be a huge delay, but it's gonna kind of slow us down a little bit on our bridge leaks. That's the update. I'll give you 1 o'clock in the business.
Sorry, people ask, all right, Laura, the bridge is gonna get done, and there'll be a period that the road will be open with the bridges until the lightning happens.
And we expect to have stragglers coming in, and so we put up some concrete barricades on certain streets that were getting abused, I guess.
Okay.
Get the motion across, keep everybody safe.
Thanks for doing that. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
And we have an ongoing meeting every Tuesday afternoon. We're gonna be meeting and getting together with HK and talking about progress. And I know that there are several of the utility companies that are going into people's properties and doing some things that, we're hopefully going to be able to address and fix because they're not respecting people's property as much as they should, so.
Got some of those calls too.
So, yeah, we don't want those calls.
It's like, it's not us.
Yeah.
It's hard to deal with those when it's not HK, it's not the county, it's utility company that's in the street by the reason, but yeah.
Anything else I can address?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to have this one done.
Yeah. It's only started.
Yes, but it will be done. Thank you.
We have an update kind of on 49th North we want to talk about just a little bit. We, just before this meeting, we did talk to the bridge engineers again on the 49th North project. We're trying to figure out ways that we can get that project going faster than it is. The design of specifically Sand Creek Bridge and Intermountain Gas is causing us some delays and problems. Intermountain Gas has a 16-inch high pressure gas main right through that area that we think is right where the new footings need to go. And they were unable to pothole it and tell us the exact locations before water was out. And now that water is out, they cannot shut down that line through the winter because it's their peak demand. And that line feeds over 40,000 people. So we were looking at different ways that we could possibly do this and still get it done by the road project done by the fall of 2026 is what has been kind of talked about before. Right now, the plan is to have those bridge plans and road plans to us for review, final plans for review by about Thanksgiving time. Turnaround time after that, we're looking at hopefully going out to bid in late December or early January and starting 49th South or 49th North road construction project in January or February of next year.
And,
We have two sections of road that are gonna be closed off at the same time,
Yes,
a mile.
a mile each, a mile apart from each other,
Two bridges on this one also.
the same canal,
Canals, yeah.
Sand Creek and Little Sand Creek.
downtown.
It sounds like it's time for me to move.
You are the magnets.
Hey, we're probably not gonna have 45th East Bridge closed down, so yeah. We are working with property owners. I just had some meetings with them last Friday. And, the bridge plans are essentially done, but we're working with right of way and starting that process. If that does happen faster than I expect, we could have Sand Creek across 45th East closed down as well.
Like, be a bad idea.
Right now, the right of way is not looking favorable for that.
So it's the plan to do the 49th North bridges in the spring then for water.
If we go out to bid on it in January, it will be getting done with the in-walk work by April 1st. Doesn't mean that the road will be drivable, but the in-walk work will be done. The bridge girders on especially Sand Creek will likely come after that.
We need to get information out on those closures sooner.
Early as competitively.
Either with marquee signs or,
Yeah.
social media.
And that will, when we go out to bid and award the bid is the time that we'll have more of that information, so it'll probably be in January before we have a bid coming back to you.
So one of the things that I talked to Lance about a little bit, just while we're on this discussion item, is if we should try to purchase some of those marquee signs for the county that you can put the digital messages up on, that we can take out to these projects a month in advance and say, or a couple weeks and say, starting this date, this road's gonna be closed. Lance, I think you told me they're about 17,000 a piece.
18,000 apiece were the ones that we found.
So is that something that the commissioners would be interested in doing for the county?
I think it's a good idea. I do too. If the option is that or rent them. Long before we be voting.
2,000.
About a month around.
2,000 a week to rent it.
Yeah.
Probably said.
Which I'm sure, like in this case, because they had two up at Iona Road that HK put up, and I'm sure we're paying for those
Yes.
as part of the construction project. So if maybe you guys just get us a bid on that and then bring it to the commissioners to what it would cost to purchase a couple of those, and we can talk about where we would fund those from.
I've seen some
It's not in the current budget.
newer designs. Just cumbersome. It's the big orange ones that pretty cumbersome and have low resolution. Yeah, it's a good word for it, right?
Well, and my thinking is, and we'll have to talk about this with the commissioners, but maybe we look at that as something that if we could fund out of general operations, we can use it for multiple county things other than just roads, advertising of events or other things. So if you'll just get us a quote, Lance, we can look at that and see if there's a place we can find the money for those.
Yeah, I can put something together. I'll get it to you.
Okay.
One nice thing about renting them though is like our sign at the transfer station put running. And they came and fixed it, but they couldn't, for some reason, get the dates to change back to what they were supposed to be, so they just brought us another sign to put out. If you guys own those, you're gonna run into those issues where you're gonna run into software problems. So renting them is great because then they have to fix them, they have to deal with them. So,
I imagine they have some kind of warranty with them though,
well, I'm
for
sure
the
they
first
do.
little bit.
Yeah, but when you have troubles, but it's nice to have them just dragging you and out there
Yeah.
and picking up
They have
the old one.
Who do we rent those from?
No traffic.
And they charge you the same, is that 2,000 a week for the?
I don't know,
transfer
I
station?
got, I just sent Sarah a text message, her sister is one of the owners with Idaho Traffic Safety. So she gets all.
Yeah, let me know what we're paying on those two, and then we can look at the bid versus what it costs us and decide what we want to do.
Yeah, that was for 2 of them. 2,000 for the week that we.
Which if you're doing a road project, you need one at each end of the road,
At
so.
least. Yeah,
Yeah, just let me know on that, Blair, and
Yeah.
that can go into part of our
She'll
decision.
probably send me a text back.
quick update on Bear Creek. They have started putting in the mats. They started on that yesterday. I was there and took a couple photos if you want to see those.
Yes. You took these yesterday?
Let me share. Good, share.
Counts that were recently done in October.
on.
The traffic signal at 25th east and 49th north is completely done now, so.
49. No, they have to, Rocky Mountain Power is gonna turn the power on November 4th, then it has to be programmed. Hopefully it'll be up that day.
Anything out on the 50s?
150 east, as far as I have not seen anything. Ray Suter told me he was gonna get a hold of me, and he never did. We have talked what they were hoping to do, but I wanted to meet out there specifically with him and show him the areas that we were going over, and he hasn't contacted me, so. Let me see if I can share this.
$800 a week.
Okay, make that any better. Actually,
Yeah, so if you're,
800 a week for a sign.
if you're gonna put it on both ends for 2 weeks of the road projects, it cost you $3,200.
Yeah.
So wouldn't take you long to recover. But just depends on how complicated they are and repair
Okay.
costs.
That's I could see it.
so that is, hopefully you can see that. They have started on this lowest section. They've got the welded wire up and the mat. They are bringing in a different fill than what they had originally wanted. This is 1/2-inch chips that they are actually buying from HP for right now. They are going to get the other material up there too. There are, on these first few steps, there are some organics in it, and we talked to them yesterday about excavating out these steps and getting rid of that and putting structure back in. And so I think that's gonna cause a little bit of more time. I don't know why they didn't ask about it. We still talking to them.
About that, so he was,
Yeah.
see if he could do that
Yeah,
to show it was.
well, he didn't talk
Right
about
alongside.
He didn't talk to us about it until yesterday. So yesterday, Keller Associates and I were up there. Keller Associates are gonna get him material or get him documentation that says, we do want this organic material removed from them as they go and rebuild it. So you can kind of see it kind of comes right over through here. And so getting that out, putting it back in the structure is the way I think we need to get this.
This time out.
Either yesterday. By today, they probably are close to 3 foot up here. And so they should be start moving the excavation now. So,
By this morning, it wasn't light enough. I'm glad I didn't. Glad you took pictures.
any other questions about that?
4 days of good weather.
Yeah, and they were certainly talked about multiple times about you're running out of time. This has gotta go. Liquidated damages are gonna start November 1st. Unless we get a change order that adds days to this, which is a condition that we might do a few days for that, so.
Dang, I thought they'd be further along.
I did too.
Supposed to have asphalt on that by now.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so,
We're gonna wait till it's about 10 degrees before the
That's
asphalt.
pretty rough asphalt.
okay,
Thank you.
another update for you. We are coming up on winter time. We do have a lot of road closures and gates and stuff like that. Those gates will be closed down when they get dangerous, and so we'll be coming to the commissioners to make sure that you're aware of that. If there are people who have not had keys before, the process is still that they would have to come to the commissioners to get permission.
We've got to fix that. There's no reason for them to come in here to get a piece of paper signed so they can go out there and get a key when that doesn't make any sense.
If you want to change the procedure, tell us what the procedure needs to be. Because that was what was run through the commissioners before. They wanted to answer to the constituents and say, yes, you can get a key, or no, you can't. They didn't want me making that determination.
Someone else here to talk about this one.
Yeah.
So we'll have the answer.
Okay.
And change in the policy.
But that is coming up. Usually we stop road maintenance and we put up road closures as we need to, but there are a lot of roads that do get closed in the winter time that I do not believe that Commissioner Mallard and Commissioner Casper should probably know much about. So I want to kind of go through at some point with a map and make sure you're aware
Let's
of
do that next week.
what's that.
Let's do that next.
Yeah.
Next road and bridge.
I'll bring in a map and we'll talk about those.
Michelle here next. We'll get over here.
As far as that, well, I don't think it.
Carl, look here.
Everyone's not the next road and bridge.
First week in November.
During snow in the high country.
Yeah,
Ocean Gate, some of those.
Most of the time we haven't, even if we get a little bit of snow, it doesn't usually stick until later. We don't do the closure the first snow we typically get.
We should have Brad in here for this meeting, because he's our weatherman. We're gonna have snow. Still have snow settling around this
Yes, there it is.
in Salt Lake,
Well, and
not just here. Far south, there's still snow settling.
And then I think, David has some information to go over with you.
So these are some counts that we just recently did as a result of the last traffic change requests. The first two, we were to look at these two intersections of Pierce and Stevens, and Green Willow and Stevens, to see which one had the most traffic. Green Willow is by far had the most traffic.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we'll do a way stop worn analysis at that intersection. Next one was on 129th North. It's decided that we install the 50-mile-an-hour speed limit signs. 85th percentile on the last page shows 39.9 miles an hour.
I wish the state would use that same formula on Highway 26, because the average speed's 80 miles an hour. And speed limit's 65, so they ought to bump it up there.
So everybody's doing considerably less than what they said they were doing. So. And the last one was on High Sea River Road.
That is the gravel road that goes back to
Yeah,
the flat side.
those two houses, right?
Yeah.
Stinking
I've
Springs.
requested it to be paved.
Yeah. And the 85th percentile there is 38.9. So again, they're not going near as fast as people are claiming they are.
Do those traffic killer speed things count side by sides like they do cars?
It would probably.
The ones that are like going
That's probably
60.
the top speed limit was 90 miles an hour, so that's.
Yeah, yes, that's it.
Motorcycle or cyclist.
That's side by side.
It has a harder time with motorcycles, but the two counter usually will get us side by side.
They're heavy.
Someone was going 90?
And
That's what it was said. Sometimes I tend to throw out the very low and the very high
Yes, so
on most of these.
that's
Pretty fast.
really. Evidence backing it.
Especially with that start corner.
yeah, maybe half a mile to slow down for this or that, so maybe
Yeah.
they could.
It's true. Okay,
So
thank you.
anyway, the only one we'll be really doing anything on is, Greenwell and Stevens.
So you put a four-way stop and stuff here.
Well,
We're
we'll do
doing an analysis to see if it's warranted.
Right now, Greenville is the stops street, right?
Right.
The east-west.
For sure.
Yeah,
Sort of, moving the ways from AT, Iota 26.
So they have gone back and forth. On that, they did finally send us a access for that good to go. They finally reached an agreement, I think, with
25th and
25th and 26th. But that goes down to Iona, that project will go down to Iona Road too and put a signal at that location. So,
We'll be looking at now, it's a signal, right, for numbers.
well, so on the cross streets, they're still looking at right in, right out on a couple of those. But at Iona Road itself, right at that location, it'll be the signal, and then as it's Highway 26, it's looking still at a right in, right out. But they have some challenges with right away and that good go. I think they've got that worked out. They had to redesign and then redesign again, and then where we're at right now, they may actually have a plan that's gonna stick. And I suspect them to go out to bid in the next few months on that.
So where the roundabout is?
At the Iona Road at 25th East is a roundabout, they will change it to a traffic light.
Oh, okay.
Traffic, go down 26 where semis trying to kill people every day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eastbound on Iona Road and running northeast on 26.
Yeah.
Just awful.
Yeah.
I don't know why anyone would try to do that, but they do.
It's a lot of cars do, but it's the semis that
Yeah.
just don't let semi-traffic on Iona Road.
So as far as I know, the plan was still to make those right in, right out on Highway 26 on that.
There was one of the properties too that was in court for eminent domain on 25th, but it sounds like they finally settled that property.
Good to go.
No, it wasn't good to go. It was
Yeah,
a
that one, they said.
Short.
2-story rental, but they finally settled that, so.
Oh, that's good.
So I think they cleared up that issue too.
Information, pretty visual stuff, all social media about the back road closures.
Yeah.
Every year there's a new generation of enthusiasts.
Well, whatever map Lance comes up with for the commissioners, it just try to make that so we can post it too, so people can look at it, you know.
How big a post you make?
Big one.
I mean, it can blow up.
Yeah.
People will be able to zoom in and stuff. They can screenshot it and look at it closer.
Either that or might be able to do a link to a GIS map. that
Yeah.
we can create, so.
Yeah, I think either one of those would be great.
You know, it just needs to be updated.
I think some shells here to give us a report on the drive up to Grays Lake.
Right.
She had never done that. So last week. That's right. Higher judgment for road trip up, Bone or Grace Lake,
Okay.
Bone Creek, and must have made it back. Yeah.
Blair, can you give us an update on the transfer station construction, where they're at?
Yeah, they've got all the concrete, well, most of the concrete's all cut out, the walls all cut out. And so now the metal guys in there fab and the forms pour the concrete back in, so we're probably on schedule. We're not ahead of schedule by any means, but we're definitely on schedule. Hopefully, we'll see how quickly those forms will go in. They go in faster than we figured. We're hoping to finish about a week quicker than what we projected.
Be a good thing for some photos of the,
Yeah, I've been taking
Posted as well.
photos every day.
Progress of the transfer station.
And then we're still on schedule February with swap, same February for the next closure of that to work on the compactors downstairs and replace those. I think it was for February, but they were planning on doing.
How long is that? Will that closure be
We shouldn't
quicker?
we shouldn't have to close for that. If we do, it'll be an afternoon, maybe a couple of afternoons where we'll have to send the trucks to the hill, but mostly that can be done by pulling one compactor at a time and keeping the other one running. And then they'll put the new one in, get it operational, start running it, and then they'll shut down the old one, pull it out, put the other one back in, and then refill it. So hopefully, if there is any shutdown during that time, hopefully that'll just be afternoons, for 2 or 3 hours. We'll just hold the garbage away from the holes. But they'll have to get it, when they put the chutes in, they'll have to get in from the top and do a little bit of rain.
Okay.
Yeah, the plan there is to not shut down. We had to pay a little bit more for that because the guys that come and move the compactors will have to come, move one, then leave, then travel back and do the other. The only other option we had was to shut the transportation down for 3 weeks while they.
Yeah, I think it's a better option to not shut it down and
Yeah,
incur.
and it wasn't really that much more for the rigging company to have to come back.
Where are we with DEQ and flow monitoring at the landfill?
Right now, I think the only thing, we have a lot of documents still in, DEQ's possession. They've never finished any of the stuff that we did a year ago. As far as like operations plan, closure, post closure, there's
Groundwater metering.
it's somewhat approved groundwater monitoring, but I don't believe there's been an actual stamp of approval, letter of approval, whatever.
I just thought I'd ask before we get that spring rains going.
Yeah, so we're monitoring the pond right now and our flow meter, they came and did some work on our flow meter, which made it better than it was. So now we're comparing the bucket test to the flow meter on about a weekly, every other week. And after these really heavy rains, he's been keeping the weather data. So now we're gonna contact Travis and have him go in and check those like a day or two after those storms to see if there's any major fluctuation. But as far as the pond coming up, we're not seeing any big change in the pond. So, and they've got over 2 inches of rain out of these last 2 storms.
Really?
So I think we found the issues, the areas where we were getting maybe a little bit outside source in, and we've addressed those, and we're getting high enough in the landfill now that it's starting to mitigate some of those issues with the rain shield. So I think we're hoping that we found those problem areas and have addressed them, so we're not getting that outside influence as
Well,
well.
if you got a venture up there to find those.
Yeah.
outside sources there.
Yeah.
Good, that's good.
Yeah, so yeah, our pond's not going up and down, it's not, you're not seeing those major influctuations like we were.
We still have been hauling, but we haven't hauled there as much in the last 6 months as we did
Oh,
in the 6 months last year, so.
And as far as the traffic on the landfill, we hauled a bunch of wood chips up there early. And they put those down, compacted them in, and even with all that rain, we haven't had any trouble getting people in and out. As far as that part of this closure goes, it's actually working out very well.
Good.
Hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed, no snow till we're done. That'd be really nice.
See what's Halloween.
Yeah.
About 10 days from now.
I have to do it today, snow on Halloween.
It won't stay. It won't. It won't stay. For long.
Else?
Just another update, I am meeting probably this afternoon with some landowners out on Fifth West, that bridge. They have some concerns on safety about people running off the side of the road and into their property. Because of that, the exhibits that we're gonna go talk to them about mean that there's gonna be close to 1,000 feet of guardrail and be on the bridge around the curve to address some of that. And if they agree to that, that's gonna be part of the project. That is a LILB project. The bridge design is close to being done. That could be another bridge that potentially is worked on this year, but I'm kind of doubtful of that. Most likely is gonna be the fall of 2026, when that is demoed out and rebuilt.
That's one up on the north end by 97.
That's been close to 81st, 97th there, that sharp curve.
Where they always end up.
Yeah,
So will LILB pay for the guardrail
yes,
if we put that in?
yeah. Yeah, since it's an LI program, they'll have to pay for it, so. Bridges all over the place, we're trying to.
Well, when you get next to the third piece of guardrail, feels like that's maybe the best solution in the DMV corner of the.
David is working with them on that.
There's some pretty curved ones up there, Highway 26, still plowed curved last winter.
Yeah,
And meeting yesterday, they're gonna get City of Idaho Falls involved, and they're thinking about taking that, turn lane away. Only having one lane there, so that there's a lot more room for elements to turn on, so. It's one option, we can discuss.
That, is that part of the route? Is it very truck route? So that's what's supposed to be.
it is still part of the ITE state route. Not the turning movement onto it, but in front of it. As far as the actual truck route, I don't think it was part of that, but that would be a City of Idaho Falls portion that I'm not aware of.
Well, thank you.
So the turn lane they'll think about taking out is the second turn lane and the side turn lane left.
To be the left-hand turn lane.
Yeah.
That's in the back of that turn.
Yeah, it is. Guardrails.
On a 40 foot power pole there next to the building or something.
Yeah.
So,
Is it a monument? Big granite monument on the corner. That's the this. With the angled bottoms. So.
Probably ought to have some really thick metal
Yeah.
instead of granite. Granite would probably,
Mosquito wraps on it.
yeah.
Okay, for real life.
There for 4 hours. And on those metal posts, so they.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We'll Do you have anything else? No. Okay.
Thanks, thank you.
We'll adjourn.